Okay. Hi guys, so welcome back to another episode of Two Wacky Pundits, Dr. D and Dr. A.
Aloha.
So, aloha. Hawaiian team today.
Yes.
Yeah, so how was your week anyways?
How was your Valentine's?
Chilled until I had a tooth abscess, so that fucked me up a bit.
Problem with my wife is she's always expecting gifts. That's my problem.
No, my wife gave up a long time ago now.
She gave up.
But anyway,
That's
there are
the
a
best
couple
thing when
of
they
there are a
break
couple of
their
gifts
spirit.
coming because it's also our anniversary coming up, 10-year anniversary. So I'll be making up for Valentine's. So that's all right.
Should be expecting that.
So today.
So what's our theme today?
Today the theme is we're gonna talk a bit about metal bands again,
All
like
right.
last week. And last week we were talking about Merciful Fate, so today I thought it was only opportune that we talk about the other member of the band who went solo for a while, King Diamond. So as I said last time, King Diamond's lyrics tend to be very theatrical and it's concept albums mainly. So each different track in the album of King Diamond is part of a story, a longer storyline, which is typically a nice horror story. I mean, all of them can be converted into a fantastic movie. A few more trademarks about King Diamond. If you've checked out the links I gave you for Merciful Fate, you definitely heard his falsetto voice, and that he shifts the tone and pitch of the voice depending on the different characters. And he also does the makeup thingy. Yeah?
Yes.
So the black and white makeup, inverted crosses on his
Kiss.
face. Yes. Actually, Kiss tried to sue King Diamond.
Oh my god.
Yes, they did, because those guys,
Jesus
Kiss,
Christ.
they're always in it for a buck. I'm a friend of mine. I'm a friend of mine who is obsessed with Kiss, and I'm obsessed with King Diamond. You know who you are, John Nizami. But yeah, Kiss tried to sue King Diamond because of this, and I think it just fizzled off, basically. But the entire concept of the theatrics and the masks and makeup and all that stuff was actually the brainchild of Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, definitely.
He started it all off,
Yes.
and King Diamond said it like he got the inspiration from him. But we'll talk about Alice Cooper in another session. Okay, so King Diamond has a whole plethora of CDs on the market. It's going to be impossible to concise everything into like 10 15 minutes. But I'm going to go through, for my personal opinion, are his best albums, his best
cursory review.
Yeah. So we're going to start. I'm going to remove the sleeves out because last time we had reflections. So this will be much more clearer. The first one that he did on his own was Fatal Portrait. Yeah. So if you look at the cover, it's very interesting. Who does she resemble? Come on, you've got her posters on the wall in the corridor.
Oh my god.
Come on, Edwidge.
Edwidge Fenech.
Yeah, I mean, she looks very much like
I was
the
gonna say
Italian
the
soft
Virgin
porn
Mary.
actress.
But
No, well, kind of. Virgin Mary stroke Edwidge Fenech.
Edwidge Fenech.
But anyway, so this was the first album, Fatal Portrait, that came out in 1984.
Is there any link between them?
No,
No real
not
link.
that I know of.
No
not that I
real
know of.
link.
The story is about some form of a portrait, family portrait about someone who was dead, and they cursed the house, and then it's. I actually don't know too much detail of this particular storyline because I never got the lyrics in hand. However, there are a couple of good tracks like Lurking in the Dark, which is very fast riff. And then there's another thing that King Diamond likes to do. He does these songs for different times of the year. Okay,
Seasonal song.
Yeah, seasonal song. So in here we have Halloween. So we start singing that every day to him is Halloween, basically. Kind of like for my daughter as well, Melissa, because she loves Halloween so much, and I play this song for her. He always goes crazy. So this is the first one. Not really the best of King Diamond, but it's important to mention, especially for that song.
A worthy addition.
He actually did another song for Christmas. You know what he called it? No Presents for Christmas.
Oh my god. I bet Melissa doesn't like that.
And at the end of it, there's the jingle of, I think it was Bing Crosby, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Sabbath. Crazy. But anyway, so now we come to his, I think one of the epitome of his works, Abigail, 1987. Now this is a full-blown horror story about a young couple that inherits a mansion. And the mansion, there was this ghost of this guy whose wife was possessed, and she was about to give birth, but the wife of this guy, this count, like she was cheating around, so he knew that the kid wasn't his, and he just threw her down the stairs. She died, but then the kid survived and got a demonic aura. And when this young couple came in, this child, Abigail, wanted to become human again, and so she ended up being impregnated with the wife of this guy, with this young guy. It's crazy. I mean,
they should make movies.
They should. But for me, this is really one of the best highlights. Like I mentioned, in Darkness, super fast riffs. The Family Ghost, and there's the video out. I will put the link. It's also amazing. And then there's a fantastic, I would call it ballad, but it's like a ballad, but it's also a fantastic song that ends the album, Black Horseman. Very, very...
Oh, yes. Probably a reference
very
to Horseman of the
well
Apocalypse.
riffed. Huh? Really? No, because it's slow pace, lots of chanting, and then it goes really fast in the end. It's really nice. Shifting in themes, so to speak. And next up, now for me, actually, Abigail was amazing, like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, but for me, this one, it's 20 out of 10 in my books.
It's Magnum Opus.
Yes, the Magnum Opus, exactly. Them. It's actually a double album. So it's continued by this one here. And we will have a nice photo of King.
Alright.
At his best.
All right,
Conspiracy. So on this double album treat, we have the story of a young King Diamond and his sister, Missy. Yes,
sister is Missy as well?
Sister is Missy, yeah.
Seems to be very popular amongst these auteurs.
Exactly. All with him, though. All with him. I mean, he's got a kid himself now at the age of 60, and he named him Byron.
Byron, right.
Yeah. So so there's young King Diamond, there's Missy.
You know what Byron said about Malta, right?
I don't remember.
A land of yells, bells, and smells.
Yells, bells, and smells. Let's see. I think was he right?
Yeah,
was he right?
I think it was spot on the money.
Yeah. So basically, the story goes that they had a grandma. The grandma's just coming back from a mental asylum into the house, and apparently the grandma, she conjures spirits at night by putting some blood in her tea.
Oh my god.
And the blood is usually coming from her daughter, so King's mom and Missy's mom. And King manages to see this one night that she is talking like to herself in her room, and these teacups are flying in the air because these are the invisible guests, so-called, that are drinking tea with her grandma. And yeah, King goes in one time, and he actually becomes really involved and has fun talking to these spirits. But then one fine evening, Missy, the young daughter, the sister, comes in. She freaks out when she sees the teapot flying in the air, and she breaks the teapot. and Grandma gets pissed off. And basically, Missy ends up badly because these invisible ghosts, these invisible guests, they drag her down to the cellar and throw her in the oven.
Oh my God.
And because of that, his sister is dead. But then, so King is now pissed off because his sister, has passed away. And he runs out of the house for a while, and then he finds an axe, and he goes back inside the house and chops his grandma's head off.
Jesus Christ.
That's the ending of them. And then we have Conspiracy, which is occurring like 10 years later down the line, where he himself comes out from the mental asylum. But I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one, so that you guys will have to find out. Again, I'll be putting links for the classical tracks from this double album. Welcome Home and Sleepless Nights and At the Gates. Just phenomenal. Next up, we have a 1990 classic by King, The Eye. And The Eye is all about witches. Once again, surprise, surprise. And in this story, it's about a nun who, before going into the convent, she had a really sordid life. She wanted to purify herself again. But when she went inside the convent, the priest who was in charge of this convent was a pervert, and he used to tell her like,
go figure,
strip so that you take the Holy Communion. And then they had these masses in his bedroom, etc., etc. Then this guy died, and then another priest came in.
No, they really should.
And the second priest was a devil worshipper. So they were doing sacrifices of kids, blah blah blah. And it's just crazy, crazy, crazy horror stories.
Yeah, right.
And
sounds interesting.
But it's so musically, it is a little bit more somber and slower pace than Abigail, Them, or Conspiracy. But nonetheless, it was really good. They use a lot of synthesizer as well, more than usual, in this particular album. Next up, what do we see they have here? Okay, this is just a B-side, but I brought this in. It's called Dark Sides. But it's got the Christmas and the Halloween theme songs. So Halloween, No Presents for Christmas. And also, because this was done in between Them and Conspiracy. There is one song called Phone Call, where basically it ties together the two albums of Them and Conspiracy, where he gets a phone call from his grandma from the grave.
He's really keen on weaving a story.
Yes. The storylines, I'm telling you, the guy is
not just singing, but making
a really prolific
scriptwriter.
I mean, if he had to write horror movies, Jesus.
You don't see that much these days.
No, unfortunately no. But yeah, it's one of his trademarks, essentially. Now here, we don't really have a concept album as such. Well, we do have for half of the album. So this one is The Spider's Lullaby, which I believe was out in 1996, 1995, yeah. Okay. So the first 5 songs are actually a bit random, but again, I'll just read them quickly. From the Other Side, a guy who ends up buried but he's still alive. Killer, obviously about a serial killer. The Poltergeist, now that's a good one. Poltergeist in the house, but it's basically saying that the poltergeist can be either be your best buddy or can be your worst enemy. So it depends how you look at it. But then the last 4 songs are all about this spider team. About a guy who's afraid of spiders, and he finds this ad about this clinic, very expensive clinic, where they can cure all your phobias. And he went to this clinic, And basically the treatment for this phobia is that they lock you in a padded room. This guy gets tied up like on the stretcher or on the bed.
Right.
And they let loose a ton of different spiders. Including some that burrow into his neck and
oh my God.
create their offspring. And he dies because of these spiders. So that's one way of doing the cure. They did give him the disclaimer, like sign on the dotted line to give the doctor all the freedom he needs to work on.
Jesus Christ.
We got 2 more. It was out in 1998. Voodoo. So as the name implies, it's a story all about voodoo in southeastern US. It's about a family that inherits this home, and this home was on the land of these voodoo spirits. And the servant there, who was an avid practitioner of the voodoo arts, who wasn't happy. So he ends up doing the spell on the family, and the wife becomes possessed, and then they bring in an exorcist to try and sort out the wife. So yeah, another cool horror story for the evening.
A variation on the same theme.
Yes. And then we have, so this is not the last album of King Diamond, there's like another 4 or 5. But this for me is quite interesting because we're taking the storytelling to the next level here. Apart from the music, which is more complex. The riffs are much more complex here, changing in tones from very fast to very slow. Really, really, really interesting. More mature, you could say. And the album is called House of God. So it's about a guy who stumbles onto this abandoned church.
There's even a crown of thorns on the cover.
Yeah, crown of thorns, inverted crosses, and all that stuff. I mean, let's try and shock the audience a bit more. As you can see, King's in the middle. Yeah.
Mm.
So basically, it's a story saying that at the end of the day, it's all about religion. Mm-hmm. Saying that actually this church is not it wasn't actually praising of Jesus, but it was of a higher deity that created God and Satan.
I see.
Beyond. Because beneath this church there was the catacombs of Jesus, and like they were the body of Jesus. Very, very, very powerful anti-clerical stuff and anti-Christian.
Love it.
You know, it's kind of similar to the Dan Brown books of Da Vinci Code and all that stuff.
And Stephen King, maybe.
Yeah, as well. But makes you think, especially the last few tracks when you read the lyrics. So for me, it was definitely an interesting eye-opener. And I was actually lucky enough this is the first time I saw King Diamond when he did the tour with this album. Great stuff. So I think that's more than enough from me about King Diamond and Merciful Fate for now. We're probably switching over to other bands in the coming weeks. And actually one thing that crossed my mind, we need to bring in, when we start getting a better audience, like a larger audience, some interviews of local bands, because there's some absolute cracking bands here on the Rock.
All right, that sounds good.
And you know, and we can have a nice chat with them and what they're doing. Like there's one band, I have to mention them, Cliff Smith and his friends, Carlo Calamatano and the rest. Rising Sunset. So they got signed up by a record label, Wormhole Death Records. And their albums are now on sale in Japan.
Oh my God.
How crazy is that, you know? From this fucking tiny rock over here.
Just in Japan?
So if you go, yeah. Well, Asia, for sure. So that's a great achievement for a local band.
Definitely.
So we'll be we'll make sure to get that stuff in for you guys. Okay, so I think
we should wrap it up for today.
Yeah, for sure. So until the next time, guys, take care. Hope you had fun.
May your God be with you.
Indeed. Bye.